What if I told you that Ferrari is betting everything on 2026 with a technology that no one else has dared to use in modern Formula One? Are we facing the definitive revolution or the biggest mistake in its history? Rarely in the recent history of Formula One has a team made such a radical technical decision as the one that Ferrari has confirmed for 2026. The use of cylinder heads made of steel in its new power unit represents a total break with more than 4 decades of technological consensus in the premier category of motorsport. Since the 1980s, aluminum had been the undisputed material for this critical part of the engine due to its reduced weight and ability to dissipate heat. Ferrari has decided to discard that tradition. Why risk so much? The advantage doesn't stop there. The greater thermal resistance of steel reduces the need to oversize cooling systems. This has allowed the radiators to be redesigned, making them smaller without compromising their dissipation capacity. That space freed up in the side pontoons and the rear of the car has been crucial so that the aerodynamics team led by Diego Tondi could create a lower, more refined rear bodywork with a cleaner air flow towards the diffuser. This means less drag and more effective downforce. In a category where aerodynamic efficiency makes differences of tenths per lap, this could be a secret weapon. But all innovation has its cost. The development of steel heads faced internal opposition. The reliability department feared that the steel, although strong, would not withstand the mileage demands without showing signs of structural fatigue. Let us remember that in 2026 each pilot will only be able to use 4 combustion engines per season. Missing just one would mean costly penalties. Faced with this uncertainty, Ferrari came to develop in parallel a conventional version with aluminum heads, ready to be used if the tests did not yield satisfactory results. It was only in the last quarter of 2025 that everything changed. After a series of thermal load simulations and cumulative resistance tests led by the AVL company at its facilities in Graz, Austria, Ferrari received final validation. The steel not only resisted, but also exceeded the threshold of 7,000 kilometers without suffering microfractures or loss of thermal performance. This technological advance, according to internal sources, occurred thanks to a change in the heat treatment of the steel used and an improved internal geometry in the cooling channels, 2 elements that were not present in the initial prototypes. This innovation also marks the beginning of a new era for the Maranello engine team. After the departure of Wolf Zimmermann and Lars Schmidt to the Audi F1 project, the development of the Project 678 engine was left in the hands of a new generation of Italian engineers such as Davide Mazzoni and Guido Di Paola. They, less attached to the old design doctrines, opted for this extreme solution without fear of breaking the mold. His work, so far, has been described as meticulous, methodical, and extraordinarily brave. That is why this bet should not be seen as an isolated experiment. It is a declaration of war on the paradigms of modern Formula One. Ferrari isn't just looking for speed. It is seeking to redefine how racing is done in the premier class of motorsport. With such a profound change to the architecture at the heart of the car, any result that is not competitive will leave the Scuderia exposed. But if it works, if steel becomes the differential advantage, Ferrari could be writing the first lines of a new dynasty today. The name may sound cryptic, but Project 678 is, without exaggeration, the most ambitious engine project that Ferrari has developed so far in the 21st century. This is not just a revamped engine. It is a total redesign of the power unit concept under the new 2026 technical regulation, which completely transforms the proportion between combustion and electrical energy. If the SF-26 has any real chance of dominance in this new era, it will be thanks to the execution of this plan. And it all starts with understanding the monumental complexity of your hybrid system. This is where the secret gem of the SF-26 comes in, the software developed by Ferrari in collaboration with AVL. This system is not a simple energy manager, but a real-time operational intelligence platform. Capable of reading thousands of parameters per second from the speed of the turbine to the exact temperature of each battery cell, the system adjusts the energy delivery rate based on the steering angle, the slope of the asphalt, the aerodynamic load at that moment, and other factors invisible to the human eye. It is Ferrari's first real step towards a predictive control system, which not only responds, but anticipates the dynamic needs of the car. But this electronic revolution could not be executed without equally revolutionary hardware. That is why Ferrari has designed a completely new battery for 2026. This energy unit is not only more compact, but also more power-dense and thermally more stable. Directly inspired by the WEC 499P hypercar system where Ferrari has experimented under extreme endurance conditions, the SF-26 battery promises not only to deliver the necessary 350 kilowatts, but to do so with an efficiency close to 95% utilization. That level of electrical performance has only been seen before in laboratory prototypes. And as if all this were not enough, the Project 678 also incorporates a new semi-integrated transmission with the MGUK, designed to reduce friction losses and improve energy recovery in braking phases. This box has been developed in collaboration with Maranello and represents a new modular concept where the gearbox and the kinetic generator work as a single energy core. The second effect was the deterioration of the internal environment. Charles Leclerc, who had had a brilliant close to 2024 with 5 victories, began to show open frustration on the radio. Comments like, "Are we competing or testing?" They became frequent in their communications during the race. Lewis Hamilton, in his debut season with the team, experienced a shock of reality. He came to Maranello hoping to find an organization ready to win championships again, and instead found a car with no competitive soul, a frozen strategy and a technical environment completely focused on what's to come a year from now. This conflict of interest between pilots and technical management was not a secret. In several press conferences, both Leclerc and Hamilton sent subtle but eloquent messages, making it clear that they did not completely share the current competitive resignation. And as expected, the Italian media pounced hard. La Gazzetta dello Sport, Corriere dello Sport, and other emblematic Italian newspapers were devastating. They accused the team of betraying the tifosi, of playing engineering instead of racing, and of delivering the season before reaching the summer. But perhaps the biggest impact was structural. The Scuderia, in this competitive break, has had to resist internal and external pressures without tangible results to back it up. In an F1 increasingly dominated by short-termism and the culture of immediate performance, sustaining such an ambitious bet without guarantees is something that very few team leaders can do. Vasseur has done it, but the pressure is immense. An error in the SF-26, a technical failure not detected in time, an unfulfilled promise, and all the political and technical capital he has accumulated in 2 years could disappear in a matter of weeks. And yet, despite all the sacrifices, Ferrari insists that it was the only possible way. The technical management argues that the new 2026 rules do not allow for incremental evolution, that a leap in concept is required, a revolutionary approach from scratch. And for that, you had to choose. Develop the SF-25 and compete half-heartedly in 2025, or go all in on 2026. They chose the latter. They opted to break the cycle of 15 years without world titles, even at the cost of making a fool of themselves for an entire season. Ferrari has opted for steel where other teams cling to aluminum. It has redesigned its hybrid architecture from the ground up, developing a torque blending system that could redefine the way engines deliver power in this new era. It has merged the know-how of the WEC with that of F1 to create a battery system capable of withstanding extreme thermal demands. And most importantly, it has stopped reacting to the pace of Red Bull or McLaren. In 2026, Ferrari does not continue. Ferrari proposes. But what is fascinating about all this is not only the technical dimension, it's the narrative behind it. After years of frustrations, of strategic errors, of being the team that almost did it, Ferrari has decided that it is no longer enough to improve what it had. That the only way to victory was to stop competing with the weapons of the past. Giving up on 2025 was a leap of faith, one that could turn them into heroes, or a case study in how not to anticipate a rule change. And this is where you come in. Because beyond the technical data, beyond the power, the pressures, the algorithms or the materials, this story is also about expectations. About what it means for millions of fans around the world to see Ferrari return to the top. About what it means that, for the first time in more than a decade, the most legendary team in F1 is not content with fighting, but is leading again. The question we have left to answer is simple. Will all this work? Will the SF-26 be that technological unicorn that returns Maranello to the place where it historically belongs? Or are we facing another chapter in a saga of broken dreams? The truth is that there is no turning back. The future is not a promise. It is an appointment scheduled on the FIA calendar, and it is getting closer. On January 23, 2026, when the car roars for the first time at Fiorano, the whole world will know if Ferrari opted for a revolution or for an illusion. Leave me your opinion in the comments what you think about all this.